I see so many swimmers that with just a couple easy tweaks to their stroke, they could fix their freestyle instantly. In this video, we're gonna talk about some common issues and easy fixes in freestyle that could change your stroke dramatically really fast. I'm Lukas Siska, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, here we have Lynn, who is a Division I caliber level swimmer. Her stroke is mostly an example of what the freestyle should look like. She's got good body rotation, nice high elbow recovery, nice and fluid all the way across. We can really see an example of a nice freestyle stroke. Great hand placement. She's only got one small little issue that is really common with a lot of people in the freestyle. We're going to see that in just a second. Her thing that she could really fix is her head slightly goes from side to side as she pulls with her arms. As she pulls with the right, her head leans right. As she pulls with the left, her head leans left. And we're going to see that more when we get at the angle from underneath. Here on the side, we can see how that she has good high elbow from underneath. But here we're going to see that head movement from side to side. See how it goes right, left, right, left. And we would want her to hold that head still and let the body rotate right to left, so to be more efficient in the water without wasting energy. Now, Angel is a very athletic, strong swimmer, but she has some different issues. Here from the side profile, it's a little bit harder to see, but one of the big things that Angel could fix to help her stroke is that she over-rotates. If you look down at the hip area, she's rotating far too much from one side to the other, which is causing a snaking effect down the pool. And when we snake down the pool, we're losing some of that power that we're putting into our stroke. Angel also has a really nice high elbow recovery, but because of that snaking effect, you can see that when she takes a breath, she is losing some water. And this is very common in a lot of people who don't come from swimming backgrounds. They snake down the pool and they're effectively losing energy when they could be conserving if they just kept their body a little bit more still. And here we can really see that from the top angle. A good drill to fix this is to imagine that when you swim that your hips are locked in and you can't move them. And by visualizing this, you will naturally rotate the hips the correct way. You can even place a kickboard underneath your hips while trying to pull and keeping that kickboard still, and that will teach you to rotate properly. Angel has a great, otherwise she has great body rotation from side to side. It's just a little bit too much. We can take a good look at her side profile here. Great job, Angel. And if we really want to get picky with Angel's stroke, another thing that we'll see in this next angle is that she's putting a lot of the power through her forearm instead of her whole side. You know, freestyle is called the front crawl because you crawl from one side to the other using your whole body powering forward. Now, if you look at this angle, you can see that she's really pulling a lot with that forearm. And she could grab a little bit more water if she used everything from her lats, shoulders, to her forearm, putting it all together. And here, finally, from the back, we can see where that snaking is evident. Now we're going to move on to Scott, big strong guy, and let's see the things that we could fix with his stroke. It looks good and smooth. He looks quite comfortable, but if you notice closely, when he's pulling, he's actually not finishing his stroke. He's pulling his hands up too early from the back. You want to finish the stroke down at the hip, where Scott is finishing the stroke probably about 6 inches before the hip. Otherwise, it looks really smooth and comfortable. He's only been swimming for a couple of years, So I have to give him a lot of respect because that stroke looks pretty good. He's got a nice high elbow recovery. All our swimmers do today. But here we can really see how he's not finishing that stroke. He's pulling those arms up way too soon. And in effect, he's losing water there. So a good drill for that is simply swimming with paddles with only your middle finger attached to the paddle, so that if you pull up too early, the paddle will slip off. This is nice extension from the front. This really looks good. Excellent. Okay, here in a little bit we'll see the second biggest thing that is hindering Scott a little bit, and that is the fact that he is letting his hips drop. So we're going to see that now. Good upper body position, but you can see that from the hips down, those legs are a little bit too deep. So this is going to tire a swimmer out. We have to have those hips higher in the water, and we can achieve that by extending from our tip of our hands all the way to the tip of our toes. We have to stretch it out. And I have a video on that if you want to see on the channel. It's called Learn How to Swim Comfortably, and we discuss how to fix that issue. Here we can see how Scott is pulling too early. You see how those hands are coming up right before they get to the hip? Otherwise, I love how Scott is placing the front quadrant of his stroke. He's putting those arms correctly where they need to be. And you can really see that here as he's coming towards the camera. Really good placement. Now, how Angel was a little bit over rotating, this is actually something that Scott does really well. He rotates the correct amount. And you'll see how his hips are locked in from this back view, but he extends just enough so that his hips don't over rotate. And he's actually causing some nice propulsion down from the bottom because of that. So this is something that he does really well. Okay, so we're going to look at some flip turn common issues, and we talked about how Scott is relatively new to this swim. So he's now achieved a level where flip turns would be a good thing to add to his swimming. The thing that Scott does, which is very common with everybody who's trying to learn how to flip turn, is the arm placement after the turn. Here, if we really slow it down, as he turns into the wall, his arms are actually right now in the correct place where they need to be. He should just close them together and push off, but he releases the arms, brings them back down, turns his whole body around, and then tries to push off. Now, 99% of people who first start doing flip turns do this exact same thing. We're going to let our superstar swimmer Lynn give us the correct way of how to do it. We'll see her at full speed first. Bam, arms up, push off. Arms up, close, and push off. Now we'll slow it down so we can get a better look. Fluid into the wall. As she turns, her hands are going to be waiting for her, and all she has to do is close them up, push off on her back, and go. And notice how that she pushed off shallow. Scott let his feet drop way down, and it got him deep, and then he had to kind of rocket himself up. And we'll look at Lynn from outside of the water. Nice and fluid, and we'll slow that down to catch a better glimpse of it. Coming into that wall quick. Last stroke, fast turn, close, push. Great example of a proper flip turn.
And guys, if you want to know your true swim potential in this moment, I want you to take my quiz and we'll give you a score to let you know. Look in the comments below, click the link and find out.
So you saw my swimmer's issues and we left notes on how to fix them. Now let's take a look at what those fixes look like when we actually put them into practice. The easiest ways to establish perfect rotation is to do it on land first. What I want you to do is to stand shoulder width apart, stand up straight, stick your arm out right in front of you. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna rotate to the correct length without over rotating and without under rotating. So just stretch out as far as you can without moving your legs. This, guys, right here is what you want to do in the water. When you do this in the water, you will be maximum rotated without over rotating. Because if we over rotate and go like this, that's when the wiggle and the snaking starts coming in. And the same thing, if we under rotate and we just stay like this, we're full frontal, creating all kinds of drag. So remember, stand straight, use your arm to just rotate to the max without moving your feet. Let me show you how that looks like from the back. I'm gonna rotate and go like this. And you can see my other arm right here is already ready to jump into action. And that, guys, is a simple way to establish perfect rotation on land first. Now let's go do it in the water.
This drill that we're about to do is exactly what we did on land, but only in the water in the simplest form. First, we want to establish extended body position by just stretching out to the max. And then we simply lean to one side without crossing the midline. This is a drill that not only teaches us to rotate properly, but also to rotate at all, because you're starting off from the flat position and then leaning in to the maximum reach point of your stroke. And let's take a look from underneath the water. Reaching, but not overreaching. Staying flat and then reaching again. So this drill right here is crucial for teaching you how to exactly rotate. Now we want to stay relaxed for this next one, so get ready.
And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna show you how to relax in the water, which is gonna be even more difficult for me because I'm freezing my nays off over here. All right, let's go see what the temperature is.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, Lord.
Well, guys, this is how dedicated I am to teaching you how to swim. This water is currently 17 degrees Celsius, which is roughly 65 degrees Fahrenheit.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. Let's just go ahead and do this.
Now in this next drill, we want to stay relaxed so that we can pull maximum water as we build on our drill progression. Now we're pulling back water, doing essentially the same thing, but grabbing water now. You see that I'm not crossing the midline and just pulling back. And when we build from this drill, we're going to add both arms, but keep them in the water with the underwater dog paddle drill. Not crossing the midline, just reaching to the max. We're gonna take this progression and go further, but now bring our arm out of the water with single arm freestyle. Don't cross the midline and don't under rotate. We're getting closer and closer to full freestyle. I like to have the other arm down so that it forces me to rotate to the max as I take a breath. Breathe to the side that has the arm down. And from here, we progress to doing single arm, but switching from one arm to the other. So I start with my left arm here, and I'm pulling and I'm rotating, and then slowly I'm gonna switch to my other arm. And here's my right arm, doing the exact same thing. And this is what we wanna do in every drill progression, one step at a time to build to full freestyle. And now it's time to go full frontal, rotating perfectly without over or under rotating, but pulling maximum water to boost our freestyle to another level.
Now, if you want to see how we applied these methods to a random guy at the YMCA and got him to drop his 100 pace by 10 seconds instantly, check out this video.
And we'll see you next time. I'm Lukas Siska.